Once I was done inking my background, I brought in the product that gives this background a yummy look. It's the Faber Castell Glass Beads Glitter Gel. Oh yes, just this one product can make a hell lot of difference. It is textured gel that contains clear round beads and glitters in it. So I placed my stencil over my background. I'm using grid 6x6 stencil from Simon Says Stamp. I'm making sure that it's all lined up and using a palette knife. It's a Dina Valley Ranger palette knife. I'm spreading the gel over the background. You do not have to worry about your stencil shifting as this gel is pretty sticky. It looks all white when you spread it over your background, but once it dries opaque. It has that fun translucent texture that sparkles and reflects light and color. You can see I'm using a generous amount of gel and spreading it over my background. I'm not applying a very thick layer of gel, but I'm trying to make everything even. And once I've covered my background properly, I will remove my stencil very carefully. I will take my background and keep it aside to dry and clean my work surface, my stencil and my palette knife. Once the background dries, it looks something like this. Oh, it's totally yummy. Well, I just let it air dry and then use my heat tool to dry it because sometimes the gel bubbles up if you use a lot of heat. Now for the card, I used a strip of black cardstock and with the help of my ATG tool, I stick that to my background. I snip off the excess black cardstock which was hanging on both sides of the background and then stick the whole panel to a top folding A2 size card, white card. Now for the sentiment, I'm using the sentiment from Hello Beautiful stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I'm gonna heat emboss this sentiment in white. I prepped my surface with the static tool and then inked my stamp with the VersaFine ink and now stamping the sentiment over the black cardstock. I sprinkled white embossing powder and tapped off the excess, and with my heat tool I embossed the sentiment. I trimmed the sentiment panel and made a fishtail at one end, and with the foam tape I am sticking it onto my card. So these are the two cards for today with all glittery background. Thank you for visiting. See you next time.